After you eat a meal, your body converts some of the food into glucose, a type of sugar. But how do cells obtain energy from glucose? I would answer that question in today's video. Hi, and welcome back.
Respiration. What is respiration? After you eat a meal, your body converts some of the food into glucose, a type of sugar. Respiration is the process by which cells obtain energy from glucose. During respiration, cells break down simple food molecules such as sugar and release the energy they contain. Because living things need a continuous supply of energy, the cells of all living things carry out respiration continuously. Plant cells as well as animal cells respire. Storing and releasing energy. Energy stored in cells is something like money you put in a savings account in a bank. When you want to buy something, you withdraw some of the money. Cells store and use energy in a similar way. During photosynthesis, plants capture the energy from sunlight and save it in the form of carbohydrates, including sugars and starches. Similarly, when you eat a meal, you add to your body's energy savings account. When cells need energy, they withdraw it by breaking down the carbohydrates in the process of respiration. Breathing and respiration. The term respiration has two meanings. You have probably used it to mean breathing, that is, moving air in and out of your lungs. To avoid confusion, the respiration process that takes place inside cells is sometimes called cellular respiration. The two meanings of the term respiration do point out a connection, however. Breathing brings oxygen, which is usually necessary for cellular respiration, into your lungs. The two stages of respiration. Like photosynthesis, respiration is a two-stage process. The first stage takes place in the cytoplasm. There, molecules of glucose are broken down into smaller molecules. Oxygen is not involved, and only a small amount of energy is released. The second stage of respiration takes place in the mitochondria. There, the small molecules are broken down into even smaller molecules. These chemical reactions require oxygen, and they release a great deal of energy. This is why the mitochondria are sometimes called the powerhouses of the cell. The energy liberated or released by mitochondria is still stored in the form of chemical energy, but now it is stored in molecules that are readily used by the cell. Two other products of respiration are carbon dioxide and water. The carbon dioxide diffuses out of the cell. In most animals, the carbon dioxide and some water leave the body during exhalation. Thus, when you breathe in, you take in oxygen, a raw material for respiration. When you breathe out, you release carbon dioxide and water products of respiration. The respiration equation. Although respiration occurs in a series of complex steps, the overall process can be summarized in the following equation. Notice that the raw materials for respiration are sugar and oxygen. Plants and other organisms that undergo photosynthesis make their own sugar. The glucose in the cells of animals and other organisms comes from food they eat. The oxygen comes from the air or water surrounding the organism. Comparing photosynthesis and respiration. Can you notice anything familiar about the equation for respiration? You are quite right if you say it is the opposite of the equation for photosynthesis. This is an important point. During photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water are used to produce sugars and oxygen. During respiration, the sugar, glucose, and oxygen are used to produce carbon dioxide and water. Photosynthesis and respiration can be thought of as opposite processes. Together, these two processes form a cycle that keeps the levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide fairly constant in Earth's atmosphere. Fermentation. Some cells are able to obtain energy from food without using oxygen. For example, some single-cell organisms live where there is no oxygen, such as deep in the ocean or in the mud of lakes or swamps. These organisms obtain their energy through fermentation, an energy-releasing process that does not require oxygen. Fermentation provides energy for cells without using oxygen. The amount of energy released from each sugar molecule during fermentation, however, is much lower than the amount released during respiration. Alcoholic fermentation. One type of fermentation occurs when yeast and some other single-cell organisms break down sugars. This process is sometimes called alcoholic fermentation because alcohol is one of the products. The other products are carbon dioxide and a small amount of energy. The products of alcoholic fermentation are important to bakers and brewers. The carbon dioxide produced by yeast creates air pockets in bread dough, causing it to rise. Carbon dioxide is also the source of bubbles in alcoholic drinks, such as beer and sparkling wine. Lactic acid fermentation. Another type of fermentation takes place at times in your body. You've probably felt its effects. Think of a time when you ran as fast as you could for as long as you could. Your leg muscles were pushing hard against the ground and you were breathing quickly. No matter how hard you breathe, your muscle cells use up the oxygen faster than it could be replaced. Because your cells lack oxygen, fermentation occurs. The fermentation supplies your cells with energy. One product of this type of fermentation is an acid known as lactic acid. When lactic acid builds up, you feel a painful sensation in your muscles. Your muscles feel weak and sore.
I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching and until the next one. Bye!